Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our quarterly board meeting. I want to start by thanking each of you for taking the time to join us today. Copies of the agenda and meeting minutes are available. And can everyone silence their phones or put them on silent mode to avoid any interruption during the meeting? I would like to now rise and recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ms. Williams, could you please do the roll call for us and
Yes.
confirm attendance?
Yes. Jane Morley,
Present.
Jennifer Hatchett, absent. Mary Ann Collins, here, present. Gordon Glover, absent. Michael Holloway,
Here.
present. Jennifer Eggers, absent. Diana Williams, here. Barbara Brooks, absent. June Daly, absent. Sarah Werkeiser, absent. Beverly Cohn, absent. Bobby Gunter, here, present. Neil McDonald, absent.
Thank you, Ms. Williams. You may not have a quorum to
We need one more.
need one more. Sarah Rockheiser may be here later today. I would like to go ahead and do a motion to approve the minutes of the last meeting.
Can't do motions without a quorum.
Well, we have to wait. Miss, okay. I would like to turn it over to our Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Diana Gullett, for the district overview. I apologize.
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the ICROC Committee. It's a pleasure to have you all here tonight. I'm going to use my time to recognize one of the areas that the referendum supports. And I'm going to ask that Joe Crowder come up here with me. She does not know I'm doing this. I had the opportunity last night to host our superintendent's art show, and it's bittersweet for me because this is Joe Crowder's last week with us in Marion County Public Schools. Some of you probably already know that. And I just want to tell you as a committee how much on behalf of our 44,000 students she has done to ensure that the arts are a critical part and a main part of what we do to help every student succeed. I shared that with the group that was there last night and gave my thanks, but I wanted to do it here as well. And it's only because I think it's what Ms. Crowder needs, or else I told her I wouldn't sign her paperwork to go. But I am truly grateful for her leadership and all that she has done to support the arts throughout Marion County. I think it's not just Marion County Public Schools, but elevating the arts in this community. And I know that the voters approved that and seeing that as part of this referendum, and I just want to say how grateful I am. You see that here in these updates, but I am truly grateful and thankful for her leadership and all she's done, and she leaves incredibly big shoes to fill. Thank you.
Thank you so much. This must do this up.
Good evening. As Dr. Gullett said, it is a pleasure to be with everyone this evening, and we always take advantage of opportunities to share what's going on in the school district, and what a perfect way to do that every quarter. So we'll get started. I would like to add that Charity Cornelius' son is not with us tonight, but Joe Crowder is going to take on the presentation for physical education. Everything else will follow the order of presenters, and we'll get started right now. I'd love to remind you that this 1 mil Valerum property tax was approved August 28th, 2018, effective July 1, 2019 through June 30, 2023. And this is the second 4-year term, if you will, for the referendum. As you know, we were approved by the voters for another 4 years to use these funds for the things as indicated on the slide, including the physical education, art, music, reading, meeting class size, retaining state certified teachers, paraprofessionals, and the category that was added in this particular 4 years was school safety. As you can see, we have spent approximately $135 million over the past 4 years, and the original 4 years. There is a budget for this year of $28 million for revenues and $25 million for expenditures. So if you include the budget for the current year, it's been about $163 million in revenue, and it will be $153 million in expenditures. Because the referendum comes from property taxes that do not start being collected until November, we like to monitor the proceeds to make sure it's in line with the expenditures. So we have collected to date $23.6 million, and we have spent to date $16.5 million. And that's pretty much in line with where we are from year to year. These dollars are split between 8 programs that are listed here. The largest of the $25.8 million in budgeted expenditures is class size, and that is 121 teachers and 93 instructional paraprofessionals. So that's about 49% of the total budgeted expenditures for the current year. This particular slide provides you the actual expenditures by program. We're in the very last year, and as you can see, we're about 3 months away from the fiscal year end, but the last line, it provides the expenditures through March 2023. The general fund referendum fund balance is very important, again, because the proceeds from the taxes do not start until November. It's very important that all the dollars that are remaining at the end of the fiscal year, they have to roll over and they have to cover the expenditures in the referendum through November. So our beginning fund balance was $8.4 million. Our budgeted expenditures for the current year, 28.4. Budgeted expenditures for the current year, 25.8. And we are anticipating a budgeted fund balance for 2022-23, about $10.9 million. This, again, these funds are restricted and they can only be used for the referendum, so they roll over. So the first category we want to talk about is class size. And the constitutional amendment came through, and we were required to meet minimum class sizes depending on what grade the students are in. So the referendum helps us meet those class size requirements. As I stated previously, the class size reduction, if you will, that program pays for 121 teachers, 93 instructional paraprofessionals. We've spent to date about 64% of the budget, and the total budget is $12.4 million, and we've spent $7.9 million. So we'll turn it over to physical education, and Joe will take it from here, and we'll continue on.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Okay, so I can't really read that. So the elementary schools participated in the annual MCPS elementary track meet, and grit, athleticism, and sportsmanship were on display as these elementary students got a taste of what athletics offers at the secondary level. And this is typically held the last day before spring break, and it is important for elementary students who would like to join track and field in middle school. This year, there were 8 schools who participated in the annual track meet, and students had the opportunity to participate in an authentic track meet, much like what they will see at middle and high school level if they choose to continue. This was at a high school stadium venue, and the same professional timing company that scores many of our Central Florida high school events was there to score. And this is the next slide of the elementary track meet. Thank you. Glasses are in the car. So the final school results showed that the competition was very close at the top levels. Marion Oaks came in first place for the female teams, and for the male teams, also Marion Oaks. And Coach Brewer was a big help stepping in to the track meet to help out. The real rewards often come from the hard work that the elementary physical educators put into making these events happen for learners on their campus. The slide on the right shows Coach Brewer, who he actually gave his shoes to a student whose sneakers kept falling off. So. And many coaches are using the jogging or mileage clubs to encourage students to set personal goals and reinforce the importance of movement on individual health. And many coaches also offer tokens that are earned by runners after meeting personal or club-determined goals. Participating clubs in our county have racked up enough miles to circle the globe more than 2 times.
I know about not having the glasses. Definitely. So this particular program supplements the elementary PE teachers by adding 18 and also 24 PE technicians. All schools, as you know, are provided $2 to $3 per student at that school. And so this particular program has spent about 65% of their budget, $1.5 million in salary and benefits, and about $21,000 in materials, supplies, and capital. And that's just basically equipment that's over a certain dollar amount. Again, this budget is $2.4 million. Next, we'll talk about our ever-expanding vocational program, and Ben will come on up and provide a summary of those activities.
Thank you, ma'am. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So we're going to talk about a number of programs that we've been working on this year to expand using our referendum funds. Pictured here on the screen, these are some new STEM units that we piloted at Liberty Middle School. The first one that you see pictured here are students that participated in a medical detectives program. It's a 9-week-long unit of study that was run through our medical skills class there. And the students were able to analyze genetic testing results to diagnose a disease in the left one, and then also we're able to study DNA evidence that was found at a crime scene in order to figure out how they can use that evidence to help solve a crime. So really great hands-on experience for those students, and the kids who are interested can continue on at Westport High School in our biomedical program. So it gave them some really good real-life application. And the feedback from the students after completing that 9 weeks was, can we do this every day? Right? They loved the opportunity to really dive into real-world challenges and problems. The second unit of study that we did, and both these are completed through a program called Project Lead the Way. The second STEM program we did for our 6th graders at Liberty was a design and modeling challenge. And students in that program were able to apply a design process to solve problems. And the presentation I watched there recently with these 6th graders is they had to design a toy for a student with cerebral palsy. And so they had to, one, understand what cerebral palsy is and the challenges and limitations that presents to children, and then to be able to research and create their own toy that could be utilized by that student using the materials available and present that to their fellow classmates. And so our goal going in the future for that program is to be able to get them a 3D printer where they could then actually take those design concepts and create the actual toy that could be used in some of our classrooms. So a great application for our students. And next year, we plan to expand those Project Lead the Way learning opportunities further. So we piloted it this year, got great success, great feedback from the students. And we're going to grow this to 4 more middle schools next year using referendum funding for our students to have access not only to those programs, but also an app creator program and a flight and simulation program that we'll be piloting as well. So that'll be Donnell Middle School, Lakewood Middle School, Horizon Academy, and Fort King Middle School will do a robotics program. So great opportunity to, again, get more students at a younger age involved in STEM learning.
A quick question.
Sure.
When we do that, what do we eliminate to open up that spot?
Yeah, so no elimination. We actually find current CT programs that we offer in our middle schools, and we enhance the curriculum that they already have available. So in the case of Liberty Middle School, they already had a medical skills class, which was designed to teach students about the fundamental application of basic medicine, right? Understanding key terminology, vocabulary, et cetera, that would then transition when they get to high school into a variety of medical programs that we offer, either venturing on to an EKG certification, CNA certifications, biomedical, et cetera. But there's not a lot of really good hands-on curriculum that we can get access to. So Project Lead the Way provided us that hands-on learning that would address the standards of those courses, but give the kids much more real-world application of what they're doing. Instead of just book learning, they were actually getting to do the work of those scientists and see what that looks like. So nothing was replaced. And actually the 6th grade program that we did, we piloted a new course for 6th graders called Orientation to Career Clusters. And it gets back to what we used to do when I was a student, which is a CT wheel program where they could really explore all the different CT programs that are available instead of just placing them in a program and hoping they like it. Through that course, they were able to research a lot of different careers and see what programs we offer that are available not only at that school, but at all of our high schools, because they all have magnet programs that students are able to attend. And so they can start to really explore and see what careers are available to them and start down the pathway that they want to go.
Thank you.
Sure. So our next one here, this is our automotive program. We have 3 automotive programs in our district, one at North Marion High School, one at Vanguard High School, and one at Marion Technical Institute right here. And all 3 of those programs are going through NATEF certification this year, which is a big deal. To be NATEF certified means that they pretty much meet all of the same specifications that a typical auto body shop would meet. And so that's the National Automotive Technicians Education Foundation. And so through those 3 programs, we've really been working on making sure that all of the equipment they use are up to spec, that they're able to get access to modern safety equipment on all those 3 campuses, which also comes with costs. If you've ever looked at pricing an automotive lift, they are quite expensive. But thanks to referendum funding, we're able to make sure that we have updated technology for those students. Students in those programs can exit with multiple industry certifications. They can get certified in transmission repair, brakes, electrical, AC and heating, suspension and steering. Most of them walk away with 6 or 7 different certifications when they leave high school, which then translate right into the workforce, being able to get picked up in any of our auto shops around Marion County or around the state of Florida. So a great opportunity for them. And this year we also opened up our MTI program as a dual enrollment option through Marion Technical College. So we're going to be able to expand greater access. So students who don't typically attend schools that have automotive programs will have a hub place where they can come in and participate in an adult-level learning course through Marion Technical College. So very excited about that opportunity. And then finally, just a recap of all the great programs that we offer through career and technical education, and all of these are in part funded through referendum funding. You've heard me say this multiple times, but getting students access to modern equipment, real-world equipment, is expensive, and our ability to expand and grow these programs has been attributed specifically to our referendum funding and being able to get that access to those funds for those students. So lots of great programs that we have grown over the years, making sure that we have magnet programs available at all of our high schools for career and technical education, growing our dual enrollment program, and now really starting to branch down to our elementary and middle schools to grow our STEM learning in those programs as well.
Thank you, Ben. I think you will agree these are dollars well spent, and their return on investment is phenomenal for our students. This budget was about $2.1 million, and the vocational teachers, there was about 17 of them. They support these programs. We say 3 bus drivers, but at the end of the year, we calculate the miles that the bus drivers used coming back and forth to MTI, bringing students here, or taking them home. So it's really not 3 bus drivers, it's just the equivalent miles of transporting them. This fund has spent about 64%. The majority of it is for salaries and benefits, but as you can see, there are some purchase services, which may be licensing, utilities, which is probably it's the fuel associated with transporting students to MTI, and then of course materials and supplies, and that capital outlay that Ben mentioned, about a little over $400,000, and that's the true benefit for the referendum for our vocational programs, is to be able to purchase the up-to-date modern equipment so they can have hands-on experience. We'll move on to library media data now, and Aaron Martin will present that to you.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's been a very busy past quarter in our media centers. They've been full of activity. As you can see, that our book circulations continue to thrive as our certified library media specialists continue to direct students to find the books that expand their knowledge beyond the classroom and inspire their imaginations to seek adventure within the written word. With the important funding received from the referendum, we celebrate all year long the fact that we have certified library media specialists in all of our schools. However, April is always a little bit more special, as we like to celebrate National School Library Month. Here you see several of our school library media specialists doing what they do best to help build those ever important literacy skills. Professional studies continue to show time and time again that a strong foundation in literacy, especially early on in a child's education, leads to better achievement in all subject areas, even when they're much older. To most, these pictures may look like a simple story time, but I'd like to share what some of our students feel is actually going on. We asked them what they love about their school library, and these are some of their statements. One of our friends from East Marion Elementary said, "I love my library because it makes me a better reader." Student from Vanguard says, "I love the media center. It's like my happy place, an area where I can be calm. There's many options of books. I love how if there's anything I have a problem with or need help with, there's a book for it." 4th grader from Dr. N.H. Jones says, "I love my library because it's a place that I can read, and I love reading. You can never read too many books." Capital, never, underline, bold. This one was a 3rd grader from Sunrise Elementary. They put a lot of thought into this one. They say, "My school library makes me feel finally free, like I can express myself. It makes me feel like in a new world where I'm at peace, in a world that's quiet and just for me, like I can do whatever I want. It makes me feel like I'm in a fairy tale and I get so excited. When I'm reading in a library, I feel a rush. If I could stay in a school library all day, I would read all the books and it would take me to a place I call home with all things I love, books, families, animals, friends, a place that never ends, a world I can call mine. Remember, this is a third grader. What would a world look like with more libraries? It would be more peaceful, more people learning about the world they live in or fairy tales. When I read, I feel happy. So as you can see, when media specialists share a great story or 2, 12, or 42, they help their students fall in love with their library, and they continue to lead them through the steps of becoming lifelong readers. And sometimes these efforts manifest as a special event. Here we see students taking part in DEAR, that's an acronym, Drop Everything and Read Time. Also, there's a themed event there, Dive Into a Good Book. You can see they're swimming, they're snorkeling with paper plate masks there. And National Read Across America Day, which coincides with Dr. Seuss' birthday. And our friend there in the middle, that's our media specialist from Hillcrest, and one of her awesome friends there. Over 3/4 of that school wrote narratives. Now, most children love to make up a story, so the basics of this skill may seem intuitive to most of us. But as you're aware, Hillcrest students are not most children. They face extra challenges, and many are nonverbal. This young man is pointing at pictures to tell a story that he otherwise could not tell without the picture supports and without the support of our media specialist. Over the course of several visits to the school library, the music classroom, and the art classroom, these students didn't just read a story, but they wrote a story which will be displayed and read by either Alice or the Mad Hatter at the upcoming Hillcrest Art Show next month. Building on the strong foundation of a love of literacy, supporting the structure of literacy skills as they build upon that foundation, and establishing strong relationships with our students to meet their ever-growing literacy needs is a small part of how the referendum dollars spent on library media centers are fulfilling the MCPS vision of helping every student succeed. Turn that back over to Ms. Boston Ellis. Thank you.
That was excellent. Felt like clapping after he finished it. I think I got ahead of myself. Library media, as we've stated, all of the different programs supports the media specialists, 15 of them. They've spent about 62% of their budget to date. Again, salary benefits, and the remaining funds are for material supplies, capital outlay, and other dues and fees that support the media specialists and the library media programs. Now we'll turn it back over to Joe to talk about art and music, and then I'll come back and discuss the expenditures for both of those programs.
Thank you. Since 2012, the Marion County Tax Collector's Office has partnered with Marion County Public Schools elementary art teachers to offer the unique Kids Tag Art program. Awards were announced in January of 2023, and you can see in this slide, this is the Superintendent's Choice Award. So, but every child, every fifth grader gets to draw on a template for a license plate, and it's also a fundraiser, and there's sponsorship money involved. So the schools can fundraise by selling, the parents can purchase packages with the license plates and keychains or coffee cups. And then there are sponsorship awards in January. So the Superintendent Award is one of the awards, and then we have the sponsorship people who have donated to the Public Ed Foundation, and those sponsorship funds get distributed to every art program. We also had a very large, beautiful display called Young in Art at the Appleton Museum. This is an annual art show for K through 12 Marion County Public Schools students. And this was up from March until April 23rd. And now we have the Superintendent's Art Show displayed at the Appleton. We also, after a hiatus due to the pandemic, We finally have brought back our elementary honor choir. Here, they are performing at the Riley Arts Center. We had 19 music teachers and 100 students participate, and teachers worked with their students on the music, and everyone attended a pre-rehearsal with their guest conductor, and that guest conductor is Kate Nadolny, who is actually from Marion County, but she teaches in Daytona. And on January 31st, they all spent the day at the Riley Center rehearsing and participating in some fun activities, and they had pizza, and the day ended with a beautiful concert. Also in March, after a long hiatus, we brought back the Charlie Dixon Music Festival, which is held at First Baptist Church, because the audience is so large. And we had 30 schools participate, 30 elementary schools, and this is to honor Charlie Dixon, who was a media specialist in our county. His daughter, Leanna Dixon, was a principal in our county, and he was a large supporter of the arts. He has passed away, so Leanna comes in his stead to watch the music festival, and the family loves it. And also, we have middle and high school chorus and band. They perform in the state music performance assessments held by the Florida Music Educators Association, and in order to prepare, we provide their programs an opportunity to perform on stage before the actual assessment. So chorus did their pre-assessment at the Riley Center, and band was at Westport High School.
We'll go back to the art program. This program supports a 0.5 of coordinator, 17.5 art teachers in the elementary setting, 8.5 paraprofessionals that support the teachers in the classroom. For art, the budget was $1.7 million, and they've spent about 61% of that budget, $952,000, basically on salary and benefits, and the remaining about $93,000 for those items that are listed. We go to the music program. That's the other half of the coordinator. And again, 17.5 music teachers, as well as 8.5 paraprofessionals that support the music programs, music classes. That budget was $1.8 million. Again, the majority of those dollars supports salaries and employee benefits of those instructional teachers, as well as paraprofessionals, and the remaining dollars are spent on supplies, some capital outlay, dues and fees, and where you see utilities, that's just the fuel to take them on field trips. Now we'll go on to professional development with Ms. Janet Biddick.
Good afternoon. So we are excited in the Professional Leadership and Learning Department to be coming to an end with some of our first-year teachers, so we'll no longer be able to call them our new and novice teachers. They will be moving into their second and third year, so they're more novice than new at this point. So we worked this year with our Achieve 2026 strategic plan, and in the past we had always stopped accepting new teachers into the program in January, so about that halfway point, and then they would be picked up the following year, so the next year. This year we continued as our plan had written, the strategic plan had written, we continued to pick up some new teachers all the way through just recently, some of the last ones that have recently been hired. So we have added even more of our ITDs, which are our mentors, our instruction and talent developers. We've added more of those as the year has gone on. So this year we're ending at this point with 281 novice educators that have been engaged in this program, and they each have a talent developer, which is a mentor, And then each school, 44 of our schools, have a lead talent developer that does a lot of the program professional learning on the site, and they do monthly meetings, and they support both the ITDs and the novice teachers. So we are excited with these numbers. Anyone who was picked up later in the year will continue into next year, so they do get a full year of support. And as we look at our next slide, just some of the things that we've been doing. One of the things that we've wanted to ensure is that as we pick up new teachers, we continue to do our Great Beginnings program with them. Our Great Beginnings program is something we do in August. It's a huge kickoff event that we do with all of the new teachers and all of the new non-instructional employees, but that really hasn't always continued throughout the year. So these are some pictures of our most recent Great Beginnings that we just did in March for some of the teachers who have just been hired recently. And one of the things that we do is we talk about the 5 C's of the learning environment, and that's culture, community, consistency, classroom management, and communication. And we really just work on not only these goals, but we really reinforce and support the development of a positive school classroom environment, because that's where it all starts. So we are excited to have all of these new teachers with us here in Marion County. We think they've picked a phenomenal place to be, and we've got phenomenal mentors in the school that are supporting them on a daily basis. And I usually share with you that we are not spending our money, but guess what? We're about to spend it, because as we close out the year, this is when we really do spend that money, and we make sure that we are compensating all of the hard work of our mentors, our ITDs, and our lead ITDs. So, thank you.
She always steals my thunder. But as Ms. Biddick stated, the majority of the funds for professional development occur at the end of the year, and they may even be paid out in July, but the activity took place at least by the end of that fiscal year. And this is solely for supporting the mentors, and where you see salaries and benefits, those are really stipends. We have to record them as salary and benefits because those are our employees. Next, we'll go on to Safe Schools with Mr. McFadden, and I think he's here.
Good afternoon. It is truly an honor and a pleasure to stand before you to say that we have come a long ways with school security. We want to thank you, the ICROC committee, Dr. Gullett, for the support, the phone calls, the encouragement, Ms. Boston Ellis. It is truly a team effort. As I stand up here, it may seem as though a small group of people is doing the work, but it's definitely a testament to what everybody behind me has been doing, the phone calls, the working, to put this together, and we are excited to say that we are nearly finished with our door buzzer installations. We've only got 1 or 2 schools left to do, and we're waiting on a part for one, and for the summer to get here because of the amount of traffic that comes in and out of the front door. And so once that happens, we will be complete with our door buzzer system in all of our schools, and it's exciting to go up to the school and mash that buzzer and have that voice asking you, may I help you? And and they love it, and it's definitely increased our level of security. So we're very close to being finished with our door buzzer installations. Next, we have our cameras. Same thing. We have been working hard. Our Technology and Information Services Department has made a commitment along with our Tech Services Department to just really kind of put everything on the back burner to get this done. The board made a request of us. The community wants to make sure that we're getting this done. And again, we're roughly 92% finished. And once we finish installing cameras in every school, the goal is to go back and install more cameras in some of those other areas that may not be visible or be able to be seen currently. So we do have a couple of more cameras to install at each school. Again, it's just exciting to know where we were at this time last year compared to where we're at now. And again, I would be not doing the others behind me any justice without giving them a lot of credit for the hard work and commitment that they put into this year, completing these projects. School safety and security is a never-ending job. It's something that we're going to continue to do. We'll find some way of providing better protection for our students, staff, and visitors each and every day. And so we just want to thank you for all you're doing right now.
Thank you.
For safe schools, we have spent about 72% of the budget. When you see salary and benefits, those relate to our guardians and the stipends that are paid to the guardians. Also, purchase services includes a portion of the SRO cost. So the majority of it is charged to the general fund, but a portion of it we are charging to the referendum. And so grateful for that. What you will find out a lot of times is the funding that we will receive, while we are so extremely grateful for the Safe Schools dollars, it doesn't cover all of the things that we need. And the referendum has certainly supplemented those needs. And you'll find going in the future, we're going to have to spend additional dollars in the area of supporting safe schools. But for this particular quarter report, the security equipment, as well as some materials and supplies and some capital outlay, total about $540,000. So we, from a budget of $3.8 million, we have spent about $2.6 million. Now we'll turn it back over to the superintendent.
Thank you, Ms. Boston-Ellis, who always does an outstanding job. And chair, members of the committee, we are prepared to answer any questions. I did fail to also recognize our amazing board. I have the privilege of working with 5 amazing board members, and this is a board committee. This isn't an operational committee. So thank Chair Allison Campbell, who is here. And do we have anyone else?
He just left.
I think Reverend, oh, okay. And board member, Reverend Eric Cummings is also here. So I want to thank all of our board members for their support. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Gullett, Ms. Boston-Ellis, and all the presenters for your presentation today. Your insights and efforts are greatly appreciated, and I'm very excited to see the direction our schools are heading to. And I'm sure that our taxpayers at home share the same sentiment. Our progress so far is promising, and we are committed to ensuring that our students are getting the best resources available to them. Due to not having quorum, I think I'm going to skip over the meeting minutes. We will do that at the next meeting. And also, due to time constraint, we're going to end the meeting today. Do we have any comments? Board?
Quite an efficient meeting, and I appreciate it.
And Madam Chair, if I may interrupt, I know we're trying to conclude. One other additional item I would draw to your attention is a reminder that the next time that we meet in July, we'll conclude this portion of this referendum. So we have one more meeting.
Okay.
That concludes the dollars that taxpayers have supported for this, this item. So just wanted to remind everyone of that.
Also, can we do elect the next board? Would that be the time to do that?
Yes, so as an update, I spoke to each of my board members and let them know that after July, we have the new dollars, and so they should be providing to you their representatives. They may be the same, they may be new members, but they should be contacting you with the representatives for their areas, their district.
Okay, Great.
And if there's anything I can do to help facilitate that, please feel free to reach out to me.
I'll reach out to them as well.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank
We
you so
appreciate all of you and your time that you spend and your thoughtfulness. So you always have great participation with us and questions, and we appreciate all you've done to support our students.
Thank you. I appreciate that. We have come to the end of our meeting. Thank you all for attending. May I have a motion to adjourn the meeting? I know.
No choice but to adjourn.
Thank you all.